Yes.
With the one and only Tony Harmer. And me, Tim. Hi. Welcome back to Adobe Live.
Oh, Tim, what an intro.
Right?
That was
Give it every
epic.
time.
Yeah.
I'm Tim, and my special guest today for this week's film club is the one and only Tony Danger Harmer. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you?
All of the above and very well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm also feeling much better than last week. So if I
glad.
occasionally, if you see this, then it's just fine. It's okay. I'm fine. And also joining us in the chat today, as always, on Behance, if you're watching this on YouTube or any other place, do join us over at be.net/Adobe Live. Once again, that's be.net/Adobe Live, and join people such as. First of all, excited. There we are. Yeah, there we go. Gilana and Kirsty and Linda and Michelle and Mike and Oliver and Sean. Hi, Sean and Stuart and Tony, who isn't in the chat. And also, I haven't said hi yet. So, hi. There we go. And Tim. Tim survived his After Effects stream this morning. Double duties. Yes, it was very fun. We did some pie charts in After Effects. And I'm sure this stream will be soon available also on Adobe Live UK in the next crash course. Right.
Wow.
But, Tony, what are we doing today? What is Film Club and what do I have to do?
Well, you have a role to play tomorrow, essentially, with La Musica. So Film Club is where we either reimagine existing titles from sort of a television program or film, or, as was the case on the last Film Club and the case in this Film Club, we reimagine the titles for Adobe Live in a different style, and that's what we're doing. Do you want to see the style in which we are working?
No.
I think everybody else possibly does, though. They want to see it. So
fine.
I'm just going to jump across to my screen. Okay. And here I have the titles for It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. 1963. Yeah. Woes. 59 years ago. Epic. So that's when this was made. The titles on this movie are phenomenally long. They are nearly 5 minutes in length. Now, we don't have 5 minutes, so we are doing what we're doing in around about 30 to 32 seconds. That's our game here. Now, I'm just going to pick a few places because we can't play this as it happens. So this begins, it's got like nice paper cut and drawn on animation, all of which, by the way, was done by hand back in the time. And if I didn't mention that before, this is a Saul Bass animation. Anybody who watches any film clubs more than once knows I'm a big fan of Saul Bass pieces. Okay, so this globe comes on or represents, of course, the world. And then there's various different things that happen. So, for example, this saw comes out and cuts out a section, and then a hand comes out with a flag with Spencer Tracy's name on it. And then there's various other things. So it's a hilarious segment here where it gets hammered shut again with the pieces of before. I absolutely love it. It is. It's fantastic. Really, really good. So we're definitely going to have grabby hands in there and things like that. And then there's the arrangement of all of the names of the cast and the rearrangement. And it gives you a sense of the general chaos that will ensue in the movie. Okay, we're not going to talk about the movie as such, okay, but it is an amusing car chase across the country and set up a whole genre, really. So the globe does various different things. It bounces along, it opens, becomes a huge firework display. It's this brilliant main cast cartoon here. I'll just show you the firework display, which isn't in our sequence. I did think about it originally, thought about doing that, but 30 seconds with the other things I need to fit in, kind of tight, really, but in the spirit of it. And then that carries on, then becomes an egg, which is sat upon by a chicken who then hatches said egg with one of these hapless cast characters who pulls the cast names from the egg and disappears up into the air like what chickens do not. Then it gets reassembled like so, and then split again to spill out more cast names. The big switcheroo. Yeah, they're all clues to things that are going on in the film, by the way. The switcheroo, though, is kind of cool in this particular thing. I like it. So got that, and then you pull up more things. Sadly, I didn't put a pirate hat into my titles.
Well, what even is
just
the
here.
point then? Let's just
Sorry?
What even is the point then? If you
I know we should just stop at this particular point. Oh, well, now you've made me think. Do I reintroduce them before tomorrow? Oh, well, I'll have a think on that, Tim. Maybe the chat should let me know. You know, pirate hat, it's me. You know, pirate hat. Should there be pirate hat? So maybe in the chat you'll let us know. Yeah, that gets pulled away. Then it becomes a sort of a gymnast, juggling acrobat kind of thing. Goes across. Then it becomes a unicycle. Gets a puncher. Gets reinflated. Pops. And then all of this other stuff. And what I really love here is this little bit of squash and stretch with this plane that goes across, pulling some more of the names for the aerial supervision. You can see that, and it sort of squishes downwards and then carries on. I'm just going to try and run that again slowly. There you go. It sort of coughs and splutters, but visually, which is lovely. I love things like that. Okay, and then it goes off, becomes a parachute, becomes a clockwork thing, wound up, and people are trying to hold on. Then it splits apart. So this is reminiscent of another American TV show whose name escapes me just at the moment, with doors opening. Gets cut up, shredded into paper people, like that. Then does various different things, yo-yo form, and splits. And then there's just a rushing crowd trampling the cartoon protagonist here. And then he gets trampled for a second time just as he's recovering, which is kind of funny. There you go. And then it goes like 4 minutes, 11 seconds worth of trailer. Now you can get away with that if you're doing a Deadpool, right? But not really if you're doing that. So we've got 30 seconds. Now I have, I don't know if you want to put the overlay in big again for a second, Tim, just while I show you. I have got storyboards here, right? But the storyboards are written in Tony. Right, and the only person that understands storyboards written in Tony would be me. So by tomorrow, when we get to doing the animation, you will get to see inked up storyboards that are not so Tony. Does that make sense?
I hope so. Certainly in the chat they are excited, and they do request the pirate hat. And
they do request the pirate hat.
We draw a line at pirate hat. Yeah.
Draw a line at pirate hat. Okay, right. Well, what we're going to be doing today then. So today we're going to be asset prepping, right, for the animation. We'll talk about that as we go along. Okay, and I've got a little shopping list. So if you drop back to Illustrator, you can see I've got my shopping list just there, which we're going to add pirate hat to in just a moment.
Where are you going to find all that? Like at Tesco's?
Yeah, absolutely. Tesco stock all of those things. Yeah, so they've got the Creative Cloud logo. They've got the mnemonics. Mnemonics for the applications. Stapler, accident finger, our fave, of course. The arrow cursor, a pull cord, handle and bar. Those things mean things to me, but we'll talk about those as we go. Open hand arm, grabby hand arm, various sleeve arms, okay, wacky hammer, and that's as in wacky, not wacky. Right.
Tony's first
anchor
name.
point and handles. Actually, don't need the anchor point and handles now because that's changed. So I'm going to get rid of that. A radial shine, that will make sense. We're going to draw it, but it will make more sense when you see it deployed tomorrow. Adobe Live, so that's the name. A long gradient, you'll see that shortly, and a names list. Now I'm going to replace. So I've got this in a separate document here in Illustrator. I've got my screen split amongst those two documents, which is easy to do. You've got an arranged documents window just up here. I've just put it into 2-up mode and then just change the proportions of that, which is actually harder than it used to be for some reason. I don't know why. So we'll drop in pirate hat in.
There we go.
We've got to have one. I'm going to make sure that is saved. I've even made it look all handwriting-y, look, which is a terrible thing to do, but I did it anyway.
And so legible, especially in smaller fonts.
Now, there's an interesting argument there, Tim, because several books will tell you not to use typefaces like this, in information graphics and in presentations and those things. But a more recent school of thought has shown with studies that if you put things that aren't so easy to read, you are much more likely to remember them. There you go.
Right. So
because you spend more time decoding.
Set all your infographics in Comic Sans.
Perhaps not.
Tony Harmer, Design Ninja approved message. Career-ending move.
Career-ending move. Absolutely. Right. Let's start gently. I'm actually going to start, I think, with the Creative Cloud. So we need it to look a bit like torn paper. Now I'm going to grab the Creative Cloud from one of my libraries, which hopefully, come away, I don't want to go into recent libraries. I want to go into the Adobe Product Mnemonics just here. I'll be pulling all of these out eventually. But for the moment, I'm just going to Option or Alt drag that onto this artboard, like so. We can just hide that stuff up for a minute. Option dragging, of course, doesn't give me a linked asset. It actually gives me the artwork, and that's the stuff I need.
Nice.
Now, this is a group, so I'm just going to go into that group until I get to the Creative Cloud icon just here. Okay, and I'm going to cut that to the clipboard. What else have I got there? I don't think I've got anything else worth anything else in there. That's fine. So I'll double click, drop that down just here. Let's fill it with black so we can see it. And the document size I've got here should be 1080p, so it's at the right size. A quick check on that perhaps wouldn't hurt. So the artboard tool would be good. Oh no, it's at 1280-800, so I'm super glad I checked just now. So we'll go with that, 1080. There we are. Whew. Saved. Disaster averted. That would have been hilarious. Not. If that. By the way, the Saul Bass thing, which I'm just going to pop back on screen just for a second, you can catch that on Vimeo from Saul Bass's Thinking Made Visual on there. So go and have a look at that if you want to. Right. So not right now. We're watching stuff. We're doing things. Stop looking at that. So the Creative Cloud logo is going to be about yay big in proportion. Okay, through the most of the story in the titles, but I want it to look torn paper. So we're going to apply an effect to it. So we're going to go to Effects. We're going to go to Distort and Transform, and Roughen, which isn't going to look pretty. So just mind your eyes just for a moment. It's not going to look very pretty to start off with. I did warn you.
The slight pop you hear in the background is just someone from the brand team going like...
Well, I know I'm going to get an email, but I'm going to send them a picture of me looking like I care, which will look like this. No, it will have a long apologetic email from me saying, I'm very sorry, I won't ever do it again. So what I'm going to do is drop this down. I'm actually going to drop it down beneath 1%. This is going to need to be very, very small. So I'm going to try 4.5% here. That's not too bad, actually, in terms of undulation. So what I'm actually looking here, just so you know, is around the edges. I'm trying to see quite how much variation there is away from the point. That's not too bad. I might just try that even smaller. If I go for 0.3. Yeah, do you know what? I think I'll try in the middle, 0.4. Just here. That's pretty good. And then I'll change the amount of detail. Okay, so that will give me a little bit more as well. So the size is how far away from the path it travels in both directions. And the detail is how many times it does this. And it can get crazy very, very quickly. Right, so I'm just taking it up to about 40 on there. I think that's working all right. I might just change this again. I think I'm going to try for that 0.3. And that's starting to look cut paper-like. Corner is definitely what I want just here. So I'll hit OK. And once I've done that, we can zoom in and have a look. So now you can see how that's going to look. Very, very torn paper. Works pretty well, right? It's going to be very good. I'm also going to leave it in black because when I get it into After, it's easier to see when it's in black like this. And once we get it into After Effects, we can always drop a layer style on it to make it white, which is what it will be. So we can use that. Okay, layer discipline is going to be very, very important just here. So I need to create a brand new layer. So Command L or Control L for that. We'll call this one CC Logo. Actually, we ought to call it CC Badge because it's not really a logo. Well, it sort of is, but it's part of it. I'm going to use my proxy region here just to drag that up onto that layer. So you can see here, blue outlines to start off with. Drag it up onto a red layer and suddenly red outlines. Super groovy. Lock that and can even turn that off. Do a quick save, as one does. Right, next then on my shopping list. So I could actually tick that one off now. In fact, I can go in there and just, I don't think I have is there a strike through effect in Illustrator? I can't remember if there is or there isn't. A fake, there is.
Well, if you don't know, I don't.
Strike through. No, I just couldn't remember because it's one of those things that I never, ever, ever use. But there it is. Perhaps I should say there shouldn't be one, but there is one. So there you go. I've got that strike through effect, so I know that I've done that one. Anyway, mnemonics, we can get those out and treat those in just a moment. In fact, that might not be a bad idea. Let's do that for each one. So let's go to the libraries here. We're going to need pretty much all of these. So, well, not all, every single one of them, because there are some that are out of date. So I'm just option dragging this. Oh, it's telling me that I'm onto a layer here. So let's add a new layer and try that again, this time with feeling. I've got to be super organized as well, because do you know who was at my house over the weekend?
Oh, no, I have no idea.
It was Joe.
Oh, Joe.
Oh, Joe. He was here.
And you've spent some time naming layers, I suppose?
We did. We spent some time naming layers. Okay. We did. And talking about organized files and, you know, all of that good stuff. You can just imagine how much our respective wives and partners enjoyed all of that. You know, scintillating is the way that you may express it, or other ways are available.
And Steve is, by the way, he's saying that movie is pretty funny for a really old movie.
It is funny for an old movie. I mean, it starts with a horrible thing, really. It doesn't, you know, it's not graphic or anything like that, but it does start with a horrible thing. And then that sets the whole ball rolling. So do check it out if you want. You know, if you've got a slow news day, go ahead and check it out. I suppose I ought to add XD in there as well. That'll do. That's kind of a spread of what we do in the main, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's fairly good. Plus, it gives me a nice even number of things. Not that that's critical. Okay, but good. Let's just hide that border around that shopping list. I just can't deal with it. I am then going to select all of those things because I need them to be in a slightly different way. So Shape Builder, Shift M, let's zoom in so it's nice and easy for people to see. And then I'm going to get rid of some of these bits. I'm just going to go ahead and just punch these out. Like so. I know if you hear a siren, Tim, you know who it is.
It's his brand team.
It's the brand police. They'll be round in a minute.
By the way, Oliver says a long gradient. That sounds like something you'd send the apprentice out to get.
It is.
Or fetch me a new Wi-Fi cable.
Man. Have you ever been caught out with anything like that?
No.
Oh gosh, I have. I got sent to the stores once to pick up a long wait, and actually it was feasible given what we were doing at the time. You know, that we might need. Well, we were working with weights on something, and it's just, yeah, go to the stores and ask for a long wait. And when I went there, I went to the desk for the stores, been sent to fetch a long wait. I said, okay, take a seat. And then a
Right.
good half an hour later, because you couldn't just get up and say, where's my long wait? It was just, you just had to wait. Good half an hour later, they said, what are you doing there? I said, I'm waiting for my long wait. They said, you've waited long enough, go away. Oh, man, I was so trusting. There we go. Right, so I've coloured those all up in black, same state as before. I can put a layer style onto those. Now, I can also try for that effect right now. So let's zoom in on one of these mnemonics. I kind of think they look cool in black. And I'm going to use Shift Command, that'll be Shift Control and E, to apply that effect quickly. Just so you know, if you want to apply the effect without any modification whatsoever, you can use Shift Command E and it will just do exactly what you just saw. If you want to make changes to the same effect, you can just choose it from there, like with holding in Alt or Option. We'll do that. But I think they look pretty paper torn. I'm very pleased with those.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very happy with that. Right. Now what I could do is take all of that content. Let's try releasing those to a layer as a sequence. And annoyingly, they're nested in a layer. So I need to actually grab those and take them outside of that parent so they become layers in their own right. Layer 3, I can borrow that again in a moment. And then it would be wise for me to just go ahead and name these things. Right, so I did put Pirate Hat in my list, didn't I?
Yes, right next to the left-handed screwdriver and the duct loop and the quasar paste.
Are they things you're getting from the chat by
No.
any chance? No? Okay. Good.
Thanks, Sandrine. It's apparently a French naughty word. Well, thanks for telling me that after I've read it out loud.
What was that? What's a French naughty word?
The paste she was supposed to get. She was,
okay.
yeah. And after I read that out loud, she said, like, oh, by the way, that's apparently a naughty word in French. So thanks, Sandrine.
Cheers, Sandrine. Thanks for that. Very good. I suppose what I ought to do, let me just try and align these as well. Just, tidiness and all of that good stuff. Doesn't hurt to be tidy at all. There
It's
we
probably
are.
payback for the gouache
Gouache.
from last week, where we spent like
Did I?
a lot of time figuring out how to pronounce gouache. If it's gouache
Oh, man.
or with an ö at the end.
One of my nieces went to a girls' school in Hitchin in Hertfordshire, and she was very, very interested in art. And being the loving uncle that I hope I am, I bought her some gouache to paint with, so she could try that out. And she was she was like 11 or something like that, and she went to school saying, my uncle, he bought me some gouache, and the teacher looked at her and said, it's gouache. And she was all upset that she'd got it wrong. And I felt like going in and having a word with the teacher and saying, A, that's debatable. B, she's 11. Yeah. C, well, C would have been a naughty word, but it would have been an Anglo-Saxon.
Oh.
Anyway.
Has the same first letter too. Cute.
Yes. Right, moving on. I'm just going to pop back, just going to switch back over to the Saul Bass animation just for a second. All right, because what I want to show you here is that the color across this entire, oh dear, that's not worked very well. Let's go. Oh, that's art of the titles version. That's fine. We can use that or my isolated version here. So the background color changes throughout. Okay, you can see that. Okay, so it goes from red to orange to green to all sorts, just makes transitions across these different things. And I would also like the background color to transition. I also want to make it look very grainy. like that, which is something we'll work on tomorrow. So for that, I'm going to use a gradient, a long one. Going to use me a long gradient for that. Okay, and I want to base it on the colors here inside, okay, of the Creative Cloud logo, which itself is a vector graphic, and it's using a freeform gradient to create that background. Okay, and you can perhaps see where the points are. But I am in a hurry, and I want to get these colors in a format that I can use. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to grab a copy just so I don't, well, nothing should get destroyed anyway, because it should drop something down in the background. But I'm going to go to Object and Rasterize, okay, and just do this with transparent background. Everything else there is fine. So now that is an image. You can actually see it is an embedded image. If you look at the object type just here, okay, it tells you it's an image. And there's no link to anything else. It is just inside of the file. I then am going to go back to the objects menu. And if you have a rasterized image selected, you can use this command, create object mosaic. It's going to be my turn to cough for a second, Tim. So I think I'm just going to have to mute just momentarily.
I try to pronounce gouache. Apparently. Thanks, Sandrine. And also for all of those who just joined, because I see a lot of people have recently joined the stream. We are working on title sequence, an animated title sequence. This is day 1. Tomorrow there will be another one. And we're creating the assets for the animation that we will create tomorrow. And by we, I mean Tony. I will just sit here and look pretty.
Brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Object, create object mosaic, and then you get this dialog here. This is a great way, by the way, to create like a tiled looking mosaic. It's a very, very nifty little thing. I'm not worried about the tile spacing here. I am more interested in the number of tiles. I think that 4 or 5 in either direction will get me everything I need. Okay, so I think that is going to be okay. Now, if I don't delete the raster, okay, so that's the image underneath the raster image, then it will just sit it down behind the group. I'm getting nervous about it just being 4, so I'm going to increase that to 5. So I'm clicking inside of that field, using my up arrow, and just shift tabbing back. There we go. I'm going to hit OK, and there you are. It creates me that object mosaic. I didn't select delete raster, so it's there underneath. But now I have the colors that I would like to use, or at least some to choose from. Probably wise for me to go ahead and add those to the swatches. So I'm just going to create a new color group, which I'm going to call ALMMMW. Yes, Adobe Live, Mad World, like so. Going to use the selected artwork, not going to select anything else in there. Poof, and now I've got all of those colors there, which is very, very good.
I feel like we need to bring at least one. We need to replace one of the M's with Maddie, like Maddie's Mad World.
Oh, that. Do you know we should call it Maddie's? Yeah, we should call it something Maddie's.
Maddie's Mad World.
Yeah, Maddie's Mad World, or Maddie's. Maddie's Mads. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, right. In another universe, let's just go ahead and create a new document. So I'm going to create another new document just here. Okay, and I'm going to start out with it being 1080p, but instead of the width here being, and I'm working in millimeters, by the way, not that that particularly matters, but go on, I'll just do that. I'm going to do an asterisk, so times, okay. Oh, does it bug you, people who say asterisks?
Yeah.
It does too. Sandrine will be going, that's a cartoon person, and she'd be right. It's an asterisk. Okay, and I'm thinking for the phasing, 30, 7, 8. I'm going to do times 8, so it's going to be very long. Okay, it's going to be 15,360 pixels. By the way, there's another way that I could do this inside of After Effects, but I want to do it the easily accessible way. Okay, so I'm just going to hit create. There is my very, very long document. I'm just going to paste down those colors because I want those, and I need to create a color group for them in here. We'll just call it color group 1 there, though. Okay, good. Now I've got all of those colors. I am going to draw a rectangle that covers the whole of the document, like so. Okay, there we go. Let's have a quick check. Whoa, I don't think that's quite right, you know. Not sure that's on either end.
So there
It's
isn't a
not.
way to just create a gradient that fills the entire composition or the entire
You
artboard?
can't fill, you need to have an object there to fill. So you
No, I
can't
mean, automatically have the right dimensions of the entire composition. So you have a rectangle you like in After Effects, you can just double click and it creates an ellipse, for example. That
Oh yeah, we
fits.
could do that. Yeah. We could and scale it to size. It's just I like doing this at the size that I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
And it's but yes, you're quite right. And that would be another. There's not a right or wrong here in this particular one. We can of course disagree about.
Oh, I'm not
about
disagreeing.
efficiency.
I'm just asking questions.
Oh no, I know you're not. We're cool. But I'm just saying that we could debate those things. But for this, you can do it your way. Do it your way. Right, I'm going to tap D. I am going to get rid of the current fill. I'm going to swap that over, Shift X to do that. Then I'm going to hit the period key to create a gradiente.
Wow, that's a long gradient.
It is a long gradient. It's going to be more fun. Where's that thing gone? Oh no, I got rid of my color group, didn't I? Let's just make sure this is centered on the artboard in both places. There's still something wrong there. That's still not quite the right size. I'm going to make it a bit wider, just so it's better that it spills over than not be long enough.
It's a bad eye-bleeding Maddie's world. Right.
What?
Thanks, Sandrine.
So this is going to start in a sort of magenta color. Actually, I'll need to flip this around because otherwise it's going to mess with my head and I'll end up doing another Ukrainian flag, which let's not revisit that. Oh, by the way, if you watch that thing again, you'll see why that was going wrong. I think I've got the gradient set to reverse. Yeah. Brilliant. Then I'm going to go to purplish sort of color. Just there. Then I'm going to go to from there to this very light blue, which is, or very sort of pale blue. From there to green. Just going to double click again, and then I want a yellow.
Roy G. Biff says hi.
Who says hi?
Roy G. Biff.
Roy G. Biff. Hi, Roy G. Biff. That will do. Okay. Now, I can mess around with these things on here to change them, and it's probably a good idea. I think I've got everything I need in there. I'm going to do this one, the location at 15%, like so. I'm going to go to the other end and do that at 85. Like so. There's a color missing, I'm sure there is.
Red,
No, there's not.
orange, yellow, green. Indigo, as people insist on adding it in, but I still have the firm opinion that indigo is just a fancy blue.
There's still something missing, you know, because there should be 7 into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, indigo.
Well, on this end?
Between green and blue, there's supposed to be like a cyan.
Oh, aqua.
Aqua.
Yeah. I don't think... That will do. Anyway, that's kind of good, and it will spread those out. Right, so this one should be at about 30.
And also you've sort of grouped in orange and yellow into one.
I have, yeah.
So.
I've done a very, very warm yellow just there. And the reason for that is it will calculate slightly differently, and I'll end up with a visible band, which I don't want. So this one I'm going to take to, so what did I do? 85, so 70% just there. And this one pretty much smack bang in the middle. Groovy. That's it. That is done. I know that I'm using the right colors, or more or less, you know, because I take to them from there. If I do find I need to change anything there, then it's easily done. So we'll save this. I've got this MMMAL folder just here, and we'll call this one L gradient. Right, so in fact, I've learned from experience it's better to actually give it the name of the thing that it has. Also, to replace the period that I just managed to knock out of there, or else it'd be called longradianti.ai. Yes, and yes to that. And also, now close that because it's done. And we can go ahead and change that in the list just over here. So let's go ahead and do that strike through thing. Just say, I can't believe I'm using strike throughs, but that's what's happened. And this, by the way, I'll be honest with you, right? When I go to meetings, making a project, I see what's meant to be going on and the things that are required of me. Yeah. And I write it down like this. This is pretty much how I'd write it down. I sometimes draw things next to them so I have an idea, but I'll have a style guide normally to work with. And then I'll just write things like grabby hand arm. Doesn't mean anything to anybody else. But provided I work on it within a week, it will still make sense. However, should it go beyond that week, anything can happen.
Beyond the event horizon.
Beyond the event horizon. Yes. Yes. Okay, so I'm just going to keep that down there. In fact, I'm going to copy that again. Just there.
About 20 minutes, by the way.
Yes, it's all good. We're all good.
So chop, chop.
Chop, chop. Chop, chop. I've just done, I just used my shortcut there to create another document using the same profile. Good. That's when that shortcut bites me, when I do an exception to it. Normally, because I'm doing 1080p documents all the time, just using Option Command N or Alt Command N to create a new document using the same document size works brilliantly for me. It's just when I create an exception, I go, oh, now I have to wait a whole 5 seconds before I can continue. Right, so this is going to be for my big radial. So I'm going to get my line tools and the polar grid tool for this. I'm also going to zoom out. I'm looking for the center of the document. It's not critical, not mission critical, just useful. I am holding down Option to draw from the center and Shift. In fact, I don't need to do that for a moment thinking about it. So here I need to have 6 radial dividers. So just drop another one in there. Well, actually, it doesn't quite work out that way, but I need to have 7 sections, which I've now got. I only need 2 concentric circles for this particular thing. That is fine. And then I'll draw that out like so, because it's going to be document sized eventually. Good. Actually, let's go smaller to about that. And I'll show you why in a second. Okay, so this is what I basically need just here. I'm then going to get my lasso tool. Q is the shortcut for that. And just in case you're thinking, why is it Q?
Because
well, L
like
is. It does. That's exactly it. It looks like a lasso. Yeah.
See,
you've watched me work before.
I'm smart too.
You are smart. You are smart. Right. I'm going to tap S for the scale tool. I'm going to hit return so I get the dialogue. I reckon this is going to be in the region of about 400%. So I've just got the Shift key held down to make it go up in sets of 10. Oh, it's going to be way over 400. There we go. 400. Well, let's go 500. Let's do round numbers. We're friends. That's good. Okay, good. That works very well. I can hit OK because that's all fine. I can then go ahead and color each one of these things in. Quickest way for me to do that, Live Paint. So I'm going to turn this into a Live Paint object, Option Command X or Object Live Paint Make. And where did that thing go? I thought I copied that. Let's go back to there. There we are. And paste that down because I'm going to need some of those colors in a minute. So here's my Live Paint object. Goody, goody, goody. K for the Live Paint bucket. Woo! Exciting. Now hold down the Option key and pull out some colors from here. So start out with this one. Doof. I don't know. Oh, I can see why that's happening. It's going to happen every time, unfortunately, for a minute. It's because it's 2 groups in there. So it's a group with the Live Paint group. Let me just break that apart. There we go. Now it's a Live Paint group on its own. So I shouldn't get that. I had a group within a group on there. So that's why it wasn't working. Let's go ahead then and get the live paint buckets. Go for the yellow just here. Doof. Ooh. Let's try that again.
That's
this
a
time
nice
with
yellow.
feeling. It's nice yellow, groovy yellow. There we are. That is what's missing. It was the orange from that one. I think you tried to indicate that to me, and I just went ahead and ignored you.
That's okay. I'm used to it. Right,
That's
and
the
now
very
we are
last one.
recreating the spinning beach ball of macOS.
We are, absolutely. Because secretly, we're fans. The other thing is I've just been robbed of that center circle just there. So I'm going to need to redraw that in just a second. I'm not worried about the strokes, so I'm going to tap X to bring my strokes to the front and slash to get rid of those, and then X again to go back to the fills. Click on the live paint group and expand. Just before I go drawing anything else, let's see if that circle's actually still there by going into outline mode. There it is. Naughty circle.
Emma says
Let's
hi.
bring that to the front. Emma says hi. The boss is in. Behave. Sudden behavior alert. Yeah, it wasn't us. We weren't doing anything wrong at all. And no, you don't. There's no need to contact the brand police. They wouldn't be interested in this anyway. It's not their thing.
Well, you know, I think Emma used to be in the same team with some of them.
She did.
Working closely together.
Yeah. Well,
so she will tell on us. She was like,
everybody
you
has
won't
their own.
believe what Tony did.
Everybody has their burden to take. Right. Okay. I'm going to rotate this around just a bit, I think. Actually, if I need to do that, I'll do that later on. So for now, it's going to be another release to layers doohickey. So let's release that to layers. Create me a new layer. Also. Why? Ah, still a group.
Mm. Oh, man. In the meantime, welcome everyone who's joining us. Umacorn. Hi there.
Hi, Umacorn.
And by the way, did you know why there's 7 colors in Roy G. Biff? So it matches,
no, go on, tell me.
So it matches the 7 notes on this major scale.
No way.
That's the only reason.
Wow.
And so it fits. They added indigo. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been there. Because
right.
Nobody ever says indigo. It's blue.
That makes a lot of sense. That does.
Oh, well.
I like it. I can adjust my my gradient a bit later on.
I think those are out of order.
They are out of order. They are. But the color names are right, so that's fine.
Well,
so I'm actually going to call that. Go on, sorry.
Well, the violet should be at the bottom, shouldn't it? Like the last 2 layers are swapped.
Yes, they are.
Not that
I'm going to. Oh, there we
go.
Easily repaired.
Thank you.
Not that that's critical. Again, that's,
for me,
that's something else. For you, it is.
Otherwise, you couldn't sleep.
Fair dues. Right. Okay. So this is a large radial.
Mana.
Oh,
We can't sing the song.
no, gosh, we'll get another telling off from YouTube. Like, you two are very, very, very naughty, and now you're in trouble. I'm still doing this strike through thing because I'm kind of liking it just at the moment.
It's useful.
The mnemonics I've done as well, so they can be struck through also. So they're all done.
It's probably there for compatibility reasons. So if you import documents that have this, Illustrator knows what to do with them.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that makes sense actually. That does make sense. Do a quick save just to update that, because remember I've got 2 documents on the go here, so I need to make very, very careful.
Minutes.
Yes, I know. Right, it's time to draw an arm at the very least from here, and we'll do an arm and we'll do an Adobe Live. That's what we're going to do.
Right.
Right, so I'm going to get my pencil tool. And I'm going to draw down, 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 and along like so. Ickle finger. Let's just tap D so we've got that in, but get rid of the fill color. Just there. I then need to hold down the Command key and click away so that it becomes a whole new path. Then we'll go another one just in here like that. Again, Command key down or Control if you're on Windows, just to do that.
Sean says, Tony, you are doing an Adobe Live right now. Yeah, we could just take a screenshot of the stream and then we have our Adobe Live. Easy.
Oh man, that's not worked very well. Let's go ahead and just do that. Yeah, that's better. And then up and away like so. What happened there? Follow my trajectory as well as it should. So something like that.
Ooh, stretch
The other side needs some work. Yeah, it is. The other side needs some work. So let's go ahead and do that. And again, the great thing is we're still in big editable territory for that. So now I want to do some chopping around here. So I'm going to select all of those things, get the shape builder tool, option, and then just remove the lines that I don't want. This isn't a case, by the way, for the join tool. That would not work in this particular situation.
Oh, that's clever. Yeah,
so they're all gone. So I've got those things. I'm not desperately happy with that finger just there. I'm just going to redraw that a little bit. There we go. Again, I refer to my earlier statement for, you know, I can make as many changes as I need. You see, that's not, that curve isn't it quite in the right position, so I'm going to have some adjustment there. Now, I did have a quick look just before we got started. I'm just going to grab something to drink. Hold on. At how I was going to actually do these, and I'm going to do them slightly differently, the drawn elements. I'm going to use a brush. So I'm going to go ahead and go to artistic and artistic chalk charcoal pencil. Very rarely do I use these, but I mean, I'm not saying I don't use them, but I don't use them very often. What's that one there?
But when you need them.
Oh yeah, they're there. Yeah, that gets copied across into this document. Just going to do a quick save on that as well. You see, I think that works all right.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good. Kind of like that one.
And we don't even need Annika to tell us to save the document?
No, I did it already.
You're so good. You should be an instructor.
I did doing that. I'm just going to get my pencil tool again. I have got my pencil set to Option key toggles to smooth tool because I'm going to just smooth out this line here. It's still not doing what I want. So Shift C to get to the anchor point tool. And I'm just going to pull that line there like so. I'm going to select the other line on this side. And I'm going to smooth that one first. So pencil tool, option key down like that. And again, I think this is one for the, so it's got that point in. So I'm just going to get rid of that pen tool. So those are the things I'm switching between. That works much better now.
Now the arm looks less broken.
It does look less broken, a lot less broken.
Actually, surprising how few anchor points you actually just need to create such.
Oh yeah, to do that. Yeah. And I mean, I've got tools on here that will reduce those right the way down to the absolute
one anchor point, as we found out recently.
That's Monica. Yeah, I'm going to do the whole thing with single anchor points, with one anchor point for the whole thing. It will take me 9 years and 11 months, but it will be with one anchor point. Anyway, right. So that's the first of our hands just there. So I'm going to move that up onto the top of the stack just here. And we'll just call that, what hands did I have in my list? Open hand arm. There we go, like so. Good. Now I could, I guess, go ahead and duplicate that layer. So I'm just going to drag that down onto the new layer icon. And we'll call that one Grabby. Hand arm. And this one here, I am temporarily Going to bring the opacity right the way down on this one. You won't notice any effect here, by the way, for a minute, because the other layer is on top of it, of course. Right. Yeah, we'll lock that. Then we'll go to this one. Then we can start to make some changes. But it'll be nice to see that in the context of the other hand. I don't really need, well, I could just cut that a couple of places. So I'll just cut here and here. So I've still got the arm. There we go. And now you can see the underlying stuff just there. I can select one of these. I think I'll start off with the thumb. Get my pencil tool and then go ahead and draw that, which again, these are going to be switched so fast that I don't actually have to be that precise. And you can see that in the original Saul Bass titles, that they were super crude, but so attractive as well. That's the thing.
It's just like me.
Now, there you go. See?
Oh dear. Right. Moving on.
Okay, so I am bringing in. Now that one does need to cross over that line just a tiny bit.
Robot hand.
Well, it is at the moment. I'm just using the erase tool here because I'm using a graphics display. I can just go ahead and change that. Just flip my stylus over and do that. I just realized I was moving off camera then. I was going to work in a slightly different direction. So,
well, turning
what
off your camera would work, then we can't see you at all. Yeah.
I don't know what's gone on there. Hang on a second. Let me just turn my camera back on.
If you were creating different arms in different colors, would you create the solid in an Illustrator and overlay the color in After Effects?
Yeah, could do. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Now you're very big. Could you zoom out just a bit?
Am I?
Yeah. You're feeling the whole frame. There we go.
Oh yeah, I can see that now. Actually, there we go. Let's just go ahead and. I haven't. All I did was that's because the camera is plugged in to the Cintiq that I'm working on. That'll be why.
I'm ready for my close-up.
So next, I need to draw some of the other digits on here. So these are going to poke out slightly from the side. That's going to be way too short.
That's perspective. It's fine.
Yes. Let's do that again.
With feeling.
I'm actually trying to draw across myself now, which is not a great way to draw. But I don't want to disappear off the camera. Totally.
You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah?
Yeah. Whatever.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to switch to the eyedropper and pick that up. There you go.
I'm pretty sure just because people can't see you for 2 seconds, they will still remember that you're here. So like,
yeah,
where's Tony gone?
So easy to forget.
Oh, scroll.
There we go. And eyedropper again and pick up that stroke style just there. And then command key down. Just get rid of the get back to the pencil tool. Click away to deselect. And I think I'm going to have to just move to the side for a second because I want to get that pinky.
That's all right.
Shouldn't really call it that, little finger. Just off to the side there for so many reasons. I'm just in a thing at the minute about not just being careful. There we go. Nice. That second finger there, the middle one just here, that's going to need to change just a bit. In fact, if I switch to my pencil tool, let's just do that right now. There we go. That's better. We can even get a little animation preview going on, right, by just restoring all of this stuff back to 100%. So if I unlock the layer, click there for the target, and then just restore the opacity back to 100, like so. Okay, we can sort of click off. Oh no, we'd have to do it in a slightly different way, but we can just go switch between the two things. But We would have to do a mutual thing by holding down the Option key, but that's going to turn on all the other layers.
Okay.
That's the thing. But anyway, that works. Grabby hand is there. Grabby hand looks like it has some relationship to the rest here. Just making some more slight adjustments there. That's much better, I think. There we go. That's good. And that hand will be used in several different directions. I've got Stapler Accent Finger to draw in the same style, of course, and a couple of other things to put together, but we can pick up on those in the morning. And do you want me to tell everybody what else is going on this week, Tim, with Film Club? Because it's kind of a different film club this week.
Yes, if we want to end the stream right here, then yeah.
Cool. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to be stitching this one together because it's not a massive, massive build. Okay, we'll be doing that. The elements that you've seen prepared here, which will take up the majority of the time, perhaps you can see those all being used tomorrow. Wednesday, slightly different gig. If there's any need, we've got a little bit of time at the very beginning so you can see the finished product, just in case anything happens, we don't complete it in the hour on there. Tim's enjoying a nice drink there. And then we've got Robert Krasinski with us, who will be showing us his new Star Wars film, which is epic, his new Star Wars fan film, which is really, really good. E11, if you want to check it out beforehand, do that. So E11, a Star Wars fan film. Find that on YouTube. But he's going to be deep diving us in places into some of the techniques and things he did to build that movie. And it really is, especially if you're a Star Wars fan, really is worth a look. And that's what we're doing for the rest of the week, Tim. There we are.
Love it.
Boom.
Yes, Robert will join us on Wednesday. The movie is free on YouTube on the channel to see, so do check it out. And he has been working on that movie for like years. This has been his passion project, and it really does show that he spent lots and lots of time finessing and perfecting every shot. So, with that, I'd like to thank Tony for joining us today. Cool. You at home for watching us. Watching me sip some tea and make some weird comments about Tony's work. We'll be back tomorrow with some animation and also the exclusive music track that's going to be part of this. I'm really looking forward to this. Any last words from you and Tony?
Oh, no. I'm all good, Tim. Thank you very much. Just looking forward to seeing you and everybody else tomorrow.
Right. Then have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow and bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.